there too. Check this out. I got black and the green and everything.
It's on camera now.
Jiu-jitsu is really, it's really about fashion. That's what makes good jiu-jitsu.
Look in each other's eyes and talk like that, please.
You win really well. Anyways, so let's continue on the Omoplata here. So we're gonna just review a setup we did way back in the module, and then we're gonna keep looking at some new entries and some other ways to attack the Omoplata and wrap up our section on the Omo here. So Nick's gonna have just a semi-decent posture here. I'm gonna start looking for a flower sweep, but instead of grabbing the same side wrist, I'm gonna cross grab, almost like I'm making a mistake. Just gonna control this wrist here. My other hand's gonna dig in, start getting underneath his thigh here. Now from here, I'm going to start swinging my leg like I'm looking for an omoplata, like not an omoplata, I'm looking for a flower sweep. So I'm going out like this, okay? And if he posts and everything, that's fine. But really what I'm trying to trick him to do is to start posturing up a little bit and keep his weight back so I can start attacking this arm. So as I start swinging, he starts posturing and follow and punch. So it's important I kick my hips up nice and high here, and then I'm going to drive down. So now in this position, Nick's going to get up on his knees pretty quickly here. And before I can control his hips or control his ankles, Nick's going to start looking to roll, okay? So he looks away from me, tucks his shoulder, rolls, lines himself, and then probably right away he's going to turn into me and start looking to establish the top position, okay? Very common escape, very effective escape if you hit it early enough. You can pretty much guarantee if the person you're rolling with knows jiu-jitsu, they're going to try to somersault out of the omoplata if you give them a chance. It's a pretty common escape. So if your opponent starts to get the roll, your partner starts to get the roll, once they start, in general, it's hard to kind of undo it. So you want to slow it down and then try to follow them back up. Okay? So it's going like this. Boom. Get my flower sweep. Starting to go. Up. Lock it. Bring him down. So Nick starts to forward roll. So he starts rolling. Just slow him down a little bit if I can. I'm going to sit up with him right away. I fold my leg away from him. Start coming up. And I can just use this as a sweep. And just take side control. This is perfectly fine. Or if we're feeling pretty gamey here, let's scoot back a little bit. That's a weird scoot, I'm sorry. So if I'm feeling like I really got this arm trapped though, I can keep attacking the omoplata here. And this is not mandatory, it's not something you have to do. It can be a little bit risky, but if you're feeling kind of in the zone, it's a good option. It can be pretty successful for you. So I want to make sure I have Nick's arm hugged nice and tight to my hip, and my leg is still folded in here. If I feel his elbows start to drop out here, start to drop towards the mat, I'm not going to bother rolling. I'm just going to get on top. Establish my top position. But I feel like I still got control over this, whether I'm controlling the wrist or controlling the elbow. Typically, if you're on the wrist, I can re-roll this here. So whenever I re-roll, I'm going to come up on my knee here. I'm going to look away from Nick again. And I'm going to turn this arm underneath. So I'm going to go here. Come back after this omoplata. And if I do it quickly, a lot of times I can get here and I can end up ready to finish this before Nick can react. When you guys are rolling with people in here, give your partners a chance to roll rather than just like, whoom, and just ripping their shoulder out. Okay, give them a chance to sit up. It's not worth it. Same setup, cross grip, flower, boom, chop. Nick starts to roll. Slow him down just a little bit, whether you're hanging onto his leg here, or whether you're over top, just slow down the roll. He starts to come up. I still feel like I got pretty good control over this wrist, so right away I'm just gonna just roll again. Here. I want to make sure I keep this clamp down nice and tight, keep this arm trapped here. Okay? And we'll look at that first, and we'll look at, I know we'll look at finishing this anyways. Let's do this one more time. Just rolling forward, not that complicated for most of you guys. Boom, boom, up, chop. Next starts to roll, I slow down, I sit up. Now from here, I re-roll it. Boom. But I end up in this weird sit-up position. This will happen sometimes too, because Nick will just kind of pop up and end up behind him here. Now a big guy, a lot of times will start driving back into you to kind of flatten you out here. But if the guy ends up sitting, you can still finish the omoplata here, so it should be a little bit different. I'm going to reach underneath and try to just trap his back arm here. I can hip out just a little bit when I use my hips to kind of start turning his turn his arm back into like a Kimura position here. Okay? So we're here. I got this. Hug this nice and tight. Take it back. You start bringing your hips up into it. Everybody's gonna be a little different. This position is a little goofy. Some guys that are not so flexible, just this position will get the tap. We're just trying to drive his wrist up to the back of his head. Other times you'll have to be a little bit more dynamic. Okay? So play with that. Give it a try.